Hey, hey. I did it flawless this time. Can y'all tell? I'm proud of myself. Happy International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day. It is Saturday, March the 8th, International Women's Day. This morning, I want to talk to you about when your mind and actions don't match. When your mind and actions don't match. Now, what that is called cognitive dissonance. That's what it really is. So, I want to break that down. You may have never heard this term before. That's why I didn't want to come out the gate saying cognitive dissonance. I wanted to really describe what it is because sometimes we experience things and we don't know why we're doing what we're doing, what is even called, right? So when our mind and actions don't match. So let me get into it. So the definition of cognitive dissonance is the uncomfortable feeling you get when your actions, beliefs, or values contradict each other. Okay. Example, you believe that eating healthy is important, but you eat fast food regularly. You know that eating healthy is important. Nevertheless, you eat fast food regularly. This creates an internal conflict. Okay. Moving right along. Why does this happen? Okay, so when we want our beliefs and actions to align, excuse me, when we want our beliefs and actions to align, when we don't, we feel discomfort. When we want our beliefs and actions to align, when we don't, we feel discomfort. Our brain tries to fix the contradiction by changing our behavior, our thoughts or behavior. So our brain tries to fix the contradiction by changing our thoughts or behavior. So you know that you're supposed to do something, right? And your mind is telling you to do this thing, but your body's like, we're not going to do that. You know, we need to eat healthy. You know, we need to work out. And your body like, we're not doing that. We're not going to do that. So your mind is contradicting your behavior. Cognitive dissonance. Okay. Common examples of cognitive dissonance. You believe lying is wrong. Nevertheless, you tell a small lie to avoid trouble. Cognitive dissonance examples. You value fitness. Nevertheless, you skip your workouts. Cognitive dissonance. And it's like we don't realize how much this holds us back. There are things that we say we're going to do. Nevertheless, we're not doing them. Cognitive dissonance. Your brain is like, your brain does not like change. It likes to keep doing the same things. It just does. You support a cause, nevertheless, your actions don't align with it. Cognitive dissonance. How do we reduce this? Okay, so how do we reduce it? We change our behavior. Start acting in a way that aligns with your beliefs. Start acting in a way that aligns with your beliefs. Change our beliefs. We have to convince ourselves that the contradiction isn't a big deal. It's not a big deal. If I work out, it's not a big deal. I need to work out for my health, right? Justify the actions. Find reasons, like I just said. Find reasons to explain why you did something that contradicts our beliefs. So we got to find reasoning. So, for example, you know you need to eat healthy because you are maybe taking blood pressure medicine, and there are certain things that you cannot eat, right? So you know that you got to make better choices. If not, you're going to be on this medication for the rest of your life. So that's the reason why, right? So we got to look for the reason why, because if not, we'll keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result, and it's just insanity. Excuse me. How do we manage cognitive dissonance? Okay, be honest with yourself. Identify when your actions and beliefs don't match. So be honest with yourself. You're not doing the things that you know you need to do, right? Make small changes. All right, adjust behavior or beliefs to create alignment. Practice self-compassion. Everyone experiences this. It's a part of learning and growth. So just know that, have grace, and know that everyone experiences this. It's a part of learning and growth. Cognitive dissonance is a normal part of life. It helps us grow by making us reflect on our actions and beliefs. The key is to recognize it and take actions to align to take steps to align with to take steps to align our actions with our values. Now I'm going to come at a different angle. Here are some biblical scriptures for overcoming cognitive dissonance. aligning beliefs, actions, and finding peace in God. So you want to renew the mind and align actions with beliefs. So here's scripture, Romans 12:2. Do not be conformed to the pattern of the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your 1:8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. These verses encourage us to see clarity and renew our minds to align with God's truth. Okay, overcoming the inner conflict and finding peace. Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious for anything, but in every situation be by prayer and petition. Isaiah 26:3. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Prayer and trust in God brings you peace when you're struggling with internal conflicts. And a lot of stuff is not people in our way. We're in our way. The biggest enemy is sometimes the inner me. The biggest critic is sometimes the inner critic. Nobody talks down to us like we talk down to ourselves. We call ourselves names. We call ourselves names. We put ourselves down. We got to stop doing it. Taking responsibility and making right choices. Galatians 6:7. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord. These verses remind us to take responsibility and act with integrity. Walking in truth and avoiding justification. Then you will, John 8:23. Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledging truth and trusting God helps resolve cognitive dissonance. Okay? Cognitive dissonance is a sign that we need alignment between our faith, beliefs, and actions. Through prayer and truth, renewing our minds, we can live with integrity and peace in Christ. So cognitive dissonance is when your mind and actions don't match. There are things that you're supposed to do that you just don't do, right? You had like this internal war. I know I'm supposed to be doing that, but I don't feel like doing that, and I don't want to do that. So therefore, we don't do that. A lot of stuff is we are in our own way, right? And then we don't even realize that we're in our own way. Well, and it's like learning these things and unlearning these things is exhausting. It is, but nevertheless, you got to get out of your own way. That's all I can say. You got to get out of your own way, because cognitive dissonance is the uncomfortable feeling you get when your actions and beliefs and values contradict each other. For example, you believe that eating healthy is important. Nevertheless, you eat fast food regularly, and this creates this internal conflict. So there are things that you keep having this internal conflict because your actions, your behavior and your actions are two different things. You know you're supposed to do these things, but you don't do them. And I'm going to tell you why. The brain does not like to do anything new. It does not like to do anything hard, anything challenging. The brain just likes to do the same stuff over and over and over again. That's why change is so hard. It's so hard because the brain already has these pathways, I call them highways, built-in highways. The brain want to just, we going to stay on this highway. Why we got to go over here? Why we got to do something different? We don't want to do that. So therefore, it's hard to push yourself to do that. Because you know your body want to do that, but your brain saying we don't want to do that, and your brain then sometimes the brain wins. We're not going to do that. We don't. So therefore, we don't do that, and then we wonder why we keep repeating the same thing. If you keep doing the same thing expecting a different result, that's insanity, right? So cognitive dissonance is uncomfortable feeling you get when your actions and your beliefs and your values contradict each other. You know that eating healthy is good for you and it's important. Nevertheless, you keep eating fast food. You know you're supposed to be working out, and you always say you're going to work out, but you don't work out, right? Because it's uncomfortable. It is all uncomfortable, and the brain does not like to do anything that's uncomfortable. That's why we have to push ourselves to do those things. And I like the Mel Robbins method. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Don't, because when you get in your head, that's it. You gotta, when your body, when you jump up, you get up out of that bed, I'm gonna go work, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna do this, you jump and you do that, you're already shocking the brain, because the brain is gonna come up with all kind of excuses why you shouldn't do certain things. And I know, because it happens to me. No, I'm supposed to be exercising. I'd be like, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. And then tomorrow coming out, and then another tomorrow coming, another tomorrow coming. We have to push past those things. Because if not, we're going to always be in our way. It's nobody else. It's nobody else in our way. It's us. It is us. And we're in our own way. We are in our own way. There are things that we're supposed to be doing that we're not doing. There are things that we're supposed to be doing that we're not doing. And can't nobody push you to do that but you. It is up to you. Because your mind wants to keep you complacent. Your mind wants to keep you stuck. Your mind is not going to do anything unless you make it, unless you get up and move your body. I'm going to do this. I'm going to work out. I'm going to make that sales call. I'm going to start marketing my product. I'm going to start going out here and asking people, do they need any, how can I support them? I'm going to get up and I'm going to, even if I don't have a job, I'm going to get up and I'm going to work on my own business. I'm going to do the things that I need to do for myself, right? You automatically went to work. You did that. You didn't miss going to work. But when it comes to yourself, it's different, right? The brain, your mind, when your mind and actions don't match, cognitive dissonance. And I wanted to look at different terms because I know that term probably doesn't make any sense to you, but the personal development coach in me was like, yes, let me talk about this. So I'm gonna give you some different examples of what this looks like, different terms, and maybe it'll connect. So you want to it's the inner tug of war. Okay, so it's the inner tug of war, understanding the mental conflict, why we struggle with contradictions, the battle between beliefs and behaviors, making sense of conflicting thoughts. So you want to align your heart, mind, and actions, living in truth. When faith and actions collide. So these are different examples. The struggle between conviction and choices. Finding peace when your mind feels divided. Finding peace when your mind feels divided. Walking in truth. Overcoming the inner conflict. A lot of things we don't do because we have this inner conflict. And it's like, why we got to do anything different? Why we got to do that? We don't like to do that. There's so many times that people ask me to do some very uncomfortable things. And my first thought, now look at here, thought, right? Think about that. My first thought is, I don't want to do that. That makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like that. I've never done that before. That's my mind talking now. My body like, okay, what we going to do? And then my mind is like, your mind and your body are like in communication. And sometimes you got to trick it. You got to get up and do that thing. You know what? We all right. It's safe. I'm going to do it. So many times people are asked to do things. And here's the mind. Oh, I don't do that. I don't do things like that. Oh, yeah, that I ain't good. I don't do that. I don't like to do it. It's always here. It's always here. It's always up here. That will stop you. That's why you got to get up and just do it. You got to push yourself. So many times I push myself to do uncomfortable things. Doing a live video, so many people won't do it, right? Because it's uncomfortable. You don't know what the person gonna say on the other end. People are judging you constantly. So people don't do the uncomfortable things. And in order to get the different results, we got to do different things. If you keep doing the same thing, and I like what my coach shared with us the other day, and he was talking about doing an autopsy on failure, like dissecting that thing. What went wrong? What can I learn from this so you don't repeat it, right? Because a lot of times when we fail, we're like, oh my God, it's the end. It is not the end of the world. Fail is finding answers in life. Okay, so you're finding the answers. So that didn't work. So let me see what does work. And you want to look at the low-hanging fruit. I've been getting so much coaching this week. You want to look at the low-hanging fruit because a lot of times we're doing things that are just not working. So what was working and why was that thing working? How can you take the thing that was working and implement it in another area? That was the coaching that I received. And I was like, I received it. I needed to hear that. And it helped me because sometimes we can't see our blind spots. And that's where a coach or a therapist or a mentor comes in. A lot of times we're trying to be our best self by ourselves. And it's hard because we only know what we know. We don't know what we don't know. That's why it's good to be in community. That's why it's good to be in connection with others who know things like these things right here. I never even heard about it until I got around other people that were talking like that. And I saw the outcome of their life. And I'm like, I want some of that too for me. Right. So I began to get curious. I began to seek wisdom. I began to grow. I began to evolve. Then I come back and share with people who want it. Everybody don't want it. I get it. And I'm okay with that. But for those who do want it, this is who I show up for. So that's all I wanted to talk to y'all about today. Cognitive dissonance, when your mind and actions don't match. We got to push past that. And it's an internal conflict, and it will keep you stuck and stagnant till you push past those things. Your mind is going to be like, we're not going to do that, but you got to push. We're going to do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. Just do it. Just like Nike said, just do it. Just do it. Do it uncomfortable. Do it scared. Do it unprepared, and do it again. Okay? That's all. That's all I have. I want to share that with y'all today, this morning, this International Women's Day. I hope you have an amazing day, an amazing weekend, and an amazing next week. And I will see you in the next video.